My name's Sarah Kaplan and I'm a director at PricewaterhouseCoopers working in management consultancy. Management consultancy is really about helping people and organisations to solve problems, improving their performance or in implementing a new initiative. And my role is within the advisory part of it. So not everybody that works there is an accountant. My father was from a Lithuanian immigrant family. No one in the family had been to university before. I was quite clever at school and did well, and they just thought that I was in control and, you know, they trusted my decisions. They were in the fashion business, my parents. So they had clothes shops. My father got Alzheimer's when I was 15. So that was quite a life-changing experience. I was still at school, obviously, before I did my A-levels. My sister was only 11, and that had a big impact on the family. And my mother died when I was 25, which is a bit longer, but by that time, my father was in a care home, and I was sort of in charge of the family in a way, because there were just me and my sister left then. And I think what that did for me was make me realise that I had to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. And it made me really quite independent in terms of my career. When I was at school, the two subjects I really loved were maths and Latin. And my teachers said, you know, you're a science-based person, keep your options open. And so I chose to do maths, physics, chemistry and biology. So I started down that A-level route. But while I was doing it, I realised that the thing I was really interested in was maths. So because I had absolutely no idea what sort of job I wanted to do, I just decided that because it was maths that I liked, maths was what I would do as a degree. But by the time I finished the degree, I was a bit fed up with maths. So I applied for completely different sorts of jobs and ended up being the first graduate trainee that Phoenix in Bond Street took on. So I moved down to London because I'd been in Newcastle and did that. So I went to work in a department store. Having to serve customers did me the absolute world of good because I had to talk to people. There was no choice. And it really brought me out of my shell. I transferred with Phoenix back up to Phoenix in Newcastle, where I was the assistant buyer in pets and cleaning, DIY and large and small electricals, which sounds really boring, but actually, again, I learned so many different skills. I did that for about a year and a half. And then I saw an advert in the paper for an assistant logistics manager for a nappy manufacturer. Did the application form, had an interview, got the job, and learnt all about manufacturing. I became a pub manager because at the time I was married and my husband wanted a job that enabled him to look after his children because he had custody of his children. So we decided to train as pub managers. Whilst also doing the pub, I started to do the part-time lecturing in maths. And I really enjoyed that. I then extricated myself from the pub and started to do more part-time lecturing. And then that led to me getting a full-time job at the college. I did that for a couple of years. Then I became head of the business school at the college. And I really learnt a lot about leadership and management in that role. Then, while I was doing that job, KPMG, who are another Big Four firm, came in to do a review and asked me if I'd be interested in working for them. I think that's why I've done so many different jobs. It's all been about what do I enjoy or what do I think is going to give me a challenge, not about a vision for where I wanted to be. Apart from 3 years of my life, I've always lived in the Northeast. That hasn't had any effect on my career at all. I can work anywhere from the Northeast.